list of some of the terrorists who were killed in the Indian strikes on 7th of May. We can put out their names now. These are top 5 terrorists who have been killed, and their affiliation with the Pakistani military cannot be missed. Mudassar Hadian Khas, associated with Lashkar-e-Taiba, was in charge of Markaz Taiba Muridke. Remember, one of the shellings, one of the strikes which happened by India was in Muridke, and he received a guard of honor at his funeral by the Pakistani army. A serving Lieutenant General of the Pak Army and the IG of Punjab Police, in fact, attended the prayer ceremony. So you
cannot go higher than that. The Inspector General is the head of the civil police there, and the Lieutenant General obviously is the boss of the entire Pakistani army formation in the Punjab area. So that's the highest military and civil engagement with the funeral of a terrorist that the government sources are now indicating, clearly put out. In fact, on that, Indian Foreign Secretary actually had put out a picture showing the engagement of the Pakistani military and the police with such funerals. Now they have also given out details that we are now putting out for our viewers. These are very important details just to point out the fact that how closely Pakistani civil and military establishment is intertwined with organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba. Remember, a globally proscribed UN-sanctioned terror organization, and some of the terror masterminds carry huge bounties in a special program that Government of United States of America, Federal Bureau of Investigation runs, called the US Rewards Program. Some of them have bounties stretching up from $5 million to up to $25 million. So, and with such terrorists, the engagement of the Pakistani civil and military leadership is crystal clear, as is now being put out by the government sources, which we are now breaking out for our viewers. Pictures of this were shown to the larger world, International Committee of Nations, and our own population by none less than the Foreign Secretary of India in the briefing that he did some time back. So quite clearly, you can see that how closely the Pakistani establishment and these terror groups are intertwined. In fact, for a long, long time, I have actually called them the extensions of the Pakistani establishment, Maria.
In fact, Hafiz Muhammad Jamil, associated with Jaish-e-Mohammed, he was the eldest brother-in-law of Maulana Masood Azhar. He was actively involved in radical indoctrination of youth and fundraising for Jaish-e-Mohammed. Then there is another name, Muhammad Yusuf Azhar, associated again with Jaish-e-Mohammed, brother-in-law of Maulana Masood Azhar. He handled all the weapons training for Jaish-e-Mohammed. He was wanted in the IC-814 hijacking case. IC-814 hijacking, a word on that, and the role of Jaish-e-Mohammed in that hijacking episode.
I mean, that's probably the last time that our civilian airliners faced that kind of threat. And Pakistan was actively engaged in it. It was completely clear to the world that Pakistani establishment was completely backing those terrorists. Jaish-e-Mohammed's boss, who actually formed Jaish-e-Mohammed, Maulana Masood Azhar, after coming out of Indian prison, was released during that hijacking, that infamous exchange of terrorists, for which the government of India was also panned by certain quarters. But remember, at stake was also lives of nearly 200 innocent civilians, passengers of that ill-fated aircraft or flight IC-814. Jaish-e-Mohammed and remember, Maria, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba are two pincers of the extensions of Pakistani establishment. Whenever there is heat that builds up on Jaish-e-Mohammed, Pakistan starts to prop up Lashkar-e-Taiba in the eyes of the global fraternity, in the sense of as a terror group. When the heat builds on Lashkar, then the Jaish is given that frontline role. So Pakistani establishment has very conveniently used these two terror groups for training, attacking, and blackmailing, siphoning off of legitimate funds and manpower from all kinds of legitimate sources. This is not only our complaint. This is the complaint of the Pakistan's eastern neighbors also, like Iran, that these are the terror establishments being backed by Pakistan actively.
And since we have highlighted that aspect, that how intertwined the equations between the terror groups and the Pakistani establishment has been, another name here is Khalid.
We should actually put out that picture on our screen for our viewers that Foreign Secretary himself displayed in the briefing day before. So if if our desk can do that, put out that picture that the foreign secretary was holding in his hand, that picture, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words, alongside this information will make it absolutely clear to our world, the world that is watching the broadcast of NDTV and our population, that how closely intertwined these two are. Actually, according to me, extensions of the Pakistani military establishment, these terror groups are.
So Khalid Abu Akasa was associated with Lashkar-e-Taiba. In fact, he was involved in multiple terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. His funeral was held in Faisalabad, and it was attended by senior Pakistani army officials and Deputy Commissioner of Faisalabad. Moving on to Muhammad Hassan Khan, he was associated with Jaish-e-Mohammed, played a key role in coordinating terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. He was son of Mufti Asghar Khan, operational commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed in POK, which is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. This is coming in by way of government sources, but important aspect, as was pointed out by the Foreign Secretary, that these funerals were post the strikes carried out by India on Murid K and in Bahawalpur, which were the headquarters of these terror groups, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. When the funerals happened, it was attended by top officials of the Pakistan Army and also the IG of these range. This happened in Punjab, so it was IG of Punjab Police who attended the prayer ceremony.